Hello everyone, and thanks for making it again. I must say that I'm really happy that you're here, and I want to talk about a few things as relates to the risk of artificial intelligence in 2025 and beyond. I talk about history, I talk about culture, I talk about education, inclusion, and of course some aspect of AI. So don't go away. Take time to watch this. This is very important. I was about to do this video when my cousin sent me of course, a video, and she was talking about the issue of where AI is going. She's in Jamaica, located there, and I want to give a shout out to her at this point in time, because thanks for that video this morning. I was about to write the script, and I wanted to take you on a journey because this journey is important as it relates to artificial intelligence. Now, when I started the journey about artificial intelligence, I remember giving a conference talk, and that was about 2022. And someone came up to me and said, AI is not a danger. I should not worry about it. And I said, are you serious? Oh, you're not a computer guy, so you would not have an idea about it. And I said, hold on a second. I have a critical mind. I can read the word and the world, and I know that it's going to be problematic. Why? Because I started doing artificial intelligence, looking at it, reading about it, several years before everyone became an expert in higher education and beyond. I say expert because now I realize that everyone is like the Wild West. They're using AI, but many are not thinking about the implications as it relates to artificial intelligence. Implications, because I would say to you that AI can lead to our own demise or death, starvation, lack of healthcare. It could improve healthcare, notwithstanding, it could cause the lack of healthcare because you don't have access to it. So at this point in time, I want to talk about the danger of AI as it relates to human system. Now, let me also mention that AI is not a tool, it's a system, because now you can have agents doing so many things and coming back with results. You can send an agent out there to book your flight, to book your accommodations and so forth. It's not a tool, it's a system. And of course, when a system is embedded in bigger systems, it becomes problematic because like a hammer, you strike a nail, you have control over it. Now, it's not a one strike thing with AI. You have agents doing all these sort of things and coming up with results. So stop calling it a tool. I would say it is a system, and the system is embedded, and when these systems are embedded in things, we can have problems as it relates to bias and so forth. Now, let's go deeper in a thought that I want to share this afternoon, or this morning, or this evening, wherever you are. Imagine a computer program that just doesn't write code, but launches, of course, cyberattacks, and of course, on hotspots. And that creates problem because now it's asking for ransom payments. You can't access the system unless you've paid. Now, that is what's happening. Sounds isolated, but that's what's happening in 2025. You see, artificial intelligence has not been given the right guardrails. People are creating codes and are doing things. Things are developing at such a faster pace that you can't imagine. Now, let us look at what's happening. From the possibilities of immediate threat, for years, experts warned against AI potential risk. But in 2025, these risks have materialized. Agentic AI, programs that can actually work independently, as I outlined earlier, were weaponized to carry out sophisticated cyber attacks. Not just hacking, but actively running the operations. Misinformation now is being powered by AI. And it's the #1 global risk according to the World Economic Forum. And as a result, they suggest that it now threatens the very foundation of truth in our society. I have seen so many things happening in the world today. I have seen where AI generated content cannot be differentiated unless you're scrutinizing it correctly to a level, because that's what we're having. So therefore, we have companies that are failing the grade of safety, and all they want to do is produce these AI-generated content. They are racing ahead faster than they can manage the danger, and they don't care, because money seems to be the ultimate. This is, of course, an inflection point. AI is no longer just a disruptor. It is a direct threat to the national security and global economy, and of course, our society. So when we talk about people using AI to improve their skills and productivity, that's fine. But there's another level of AI that is not being checked because people think they should have the same allowances for those who use it for productivity to create problems in our society. Now, let us look at the technological acceleration, autonomy, and deception. The agentic leap. AI now stops waiting for instruction. It makes strategic decisions, choosing ransom prices, adapting in real time against defenses, and running the entire operation without human in the loop. The democratization of cybercrime. Anyone, even with no coding skills, can now launch sophisticated ransom campaigns using AI. Deception, of course, is taking place. Advanced AI now learn how to pretend to be less capable than it really is, tricking, of course, evaluators. This means the very test meant to check and safeguard AI, it cannot be trusted. And that's a point that we must understand. If the system is using our own information that we're using it to check that it's all right and pretending it's not there when it's already there, it's tricking us about the capabilities, which again makes it more dangerous. And that is why I'm saying to you, we have to be very careful. I wrote a framework roughly 4 years ago about why we need to ensure humanity's safety, and I've done some more work. I'm asking you to look at it because it's so important that we get these thoughts out. Once again, the AI system is hiding the truth of its ability. We lose visible control. It becomes like a masked actor, smiling in public but plotting behind our backs, and that's problematic. When we look again at from the lab to battlefield, threats are taking place. The theory became real in two major domains: cybersecurity. In August 2025, the Vibe hacking operation used AI not just to hack, but to negotiate and psychologically manipulate victims. Hospitals, governments, and emergency services were hit with ransom demands. Biosecurity. AI protein design tools create synthetic toxins that can bypass today biomedical detection systems. That mean our current biodefense strategies are already outdated. The AI arm race is here. It's not just about faster chips, but about our own survival. Societal breakdown. When AI corrupts the truth and human skills, problems happen. The danger is not about cybersecurity or synthetic biology. AI is destabilizing the very human system of trust and performance. There's also disinformation crisis. Deepfakes, clone voices, fake news are flooding the digital space. Remember, recently we saw where the rapture would have taken place and we realized it didn't, but that was started by a pastor posting on TikTok that on September such a date there would be the rapture, and it spread like wildfire. Trust, which is a foundation of government and of course community, is being eroded by our very leaders that we have. And of course, let us look at human skills. Studies have shown that developers using AI, though they are faster, but in reality they are slower and they make more mistakes. In critical systems like aviation and hospitals, this automation and complacency will cause life. So therefore we must have governance. It's hard, of course, to look at it, but 2025 proves that governments are not ready to take on AI. In the United States, the administration scraps safety first regulations, pushing instead unquestioned dominance in AI. But what happens when you innovate to a point that it leads to your own demise of the society? That's problematic. So you can innovate as much, but what happens when that innovation causes problems to a point where your society is also at the greatest risk because you've used all aspects to control, and now the system wants to control you. That's a possibility. China pushed forward with speed and secrecy. No unified, of course, standard exists. Instead, the world is locked in a zero-sum race for AI supremacy, with safety sacrificed at the altar of dominance. Navigating these convergent threats is going to be something that we have to understand. 2025 reveals 3 core dangers: autonomous weaponization. AI is running cyber and bio threats independently. We have strategic deception. Let me also say that there's an institutionalized risk where governments are deploying AI systems at such speed because they want to be dominant. But that dominance is not considered within a safety perspective. The part demands, of course, an independent audit of all areas, all frontiers. Global security needs to have firewalls against synthetic threats. We need to redesign in such a way that there's human and AI working collaboratively to prevent, of course, our relaxation as AI takes over. And most importantly, international agencies and organizations must come together to create a safety zone, a code of conduct or practice, because that's ultimate. If you don't go there and you race to be at the top and you have no one to serve, that's problematic. As we stand at the crossroad, the question is whether we are going to transform our society or will AI lead to the demise. The question is whether humanity can work along with AI without aspect of being so greedy that they want to be at the dominance without considering the safety and well-being of others. So I say to you, as we think about this in Jamaica and across the globe, let us think about one thing. We need to be accountable. Using AI comes with great responsibility. And we're learning a lesson. If this is happening now in 2025 for the recording, what will happen in another 3 or 4 years? Not to mention the job losses that people are not talking about. The only winners at this point, in my perspective, in relation to this, are the tech companies. Because the tech companies are continuously using our data and then selling back these systems that we use that will also lead to our demise. They need to be held accountable too. That's all for now. Thanks for joining me. I'm sad to say I had to say that, but it had to be said. That's all. Goodbye.